Hey everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping with Natalie, or welcome to if you are new. Today we're going to be checking some supers that we put on, honestly, a few days ago. I checked them like the next day, I think it was, and the smoke is just following me around, and I already tried to start an intro and I was choking, so I'm just going to put that over there. Anyways, I checked them like, I think it was 2 days after we had put them on, the supers, and they were immediately starting to fill them, so we knew we definitely had to get supers on pretty much all of them. There's only a few that doesn't have supers, and we're pretty much about to put them on. And so we have our black locust flow, which is pretty much our main flow, like our main start of the year. It does really well. The last 2 years it's done really well. And so I think the first few years that we did beekeeping, we really didn't know about it, and then we realized that it was actually a really good flow, that they were able to make quite a bit of honey. And so we've been watching it the last few years and it's been doing really well. So these two hives are single brood. And I've talked about it before. It's really not my favorite thing. My dad likes doing it because it gets us more honey, but I feel like it's just more work. And so it is a little bit more work just because you're going to get more swarm cells typically than doing doubles. But you do get more honey, so it is usually worth it in the end. But they tend to swarm a lot more, and then coming out of our honey flow, they're usually just so full, and it's really hard to just pull honey off of them. And another thing is, like, when we put the fume board on top of it and there's that cherry smell, they usually all come out of here and then they go all over the supers, so it's like not sure what the point is because they're already all over here. There's just little things that makes it a little bit harder, but we get more honey, so we're doing it on a few. Most of them are going to be doubles that we're doing honey with, but we're doing a few single brood. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and check these girls out. So back to what I was talking about, our flow. So there's black locust, and then there is our blackberries are just now starting up. You can't see it really back here though, like here in a couple days or maybe a week or so, this whole back area is just going to be filled with blackberries. It's really nice because once they turn into blackberries, we're able to just have a little snack while we're in the bees. And so there's some back there, there's some over here. There's like already some flowers over here. They'll probably start working on those pretty soon. These are the only ones that I'm seeing that look like that are really starting to bloom. Not many of them look like that, but that means that they are getting ready. So typically once our black locust starts, it's just off to the races from there. So that's exciting. Our honeysuckle is starting. They've been really liking that the last few days. Kind of seems like they're not on it as much today. Our little clover's starting just a little bit. They're not really on it too much, but there will be a time here in a couple months or weeks that they will just be all over it and it'll be all over the ground. So yeah, our raspberries too, all of that stuff is blooming and they are filling these supers. So we are adding supers today, seeing how they look. And all the supers that we've put on so far have been comb, just so they can start filling that up immediately. Also, I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but there's just a total difference in working your bees when there's a flow on. They're just so much happier. There goes my smoker. Sometimes we'll film like 3 videos in one day and it's a mess. Anyways, so I'm gonna open these up, see how they're looking. I don't even remember what I was talking about before this, but let's see how they're filling it up. So yeah, this is just full. This isn't completely packed, but it's really starting to get there. It's just really exciting. They've starting to build some fresh comb on top, which always looks so nice. I love the look of it. That really white comb. So yeah, this is being filled, like this whole frame is just full. You can't really see it because it's so clear. It's just shiny and it's got a lot of weight to this frame. Like this frame is pretty heavy. And so they are working on that. And so typically if they're working on the top box, that means that these, like this next box, I believe there's 2 on here, yeah. This next box is just gonna be full. You could check if you want to. I don't think I'm going to, you know what? We are going to because we've got time, even though we really don't. It's okay. Yeah, so that just looks like it's packed full. Sorry, this is heavy. I can't hold that long enough. Yeah, so these have some weight to it, which is sad for me because that means I won't be able to work these for that much longer before somebody else has to start lifting them. So because this is getting so full, we're gonna put another super on top. And I checked a little while ago, or like, checked like yesterday, and they have no swarm cells down here, which is really good. And so we're not gonna check that today. You would wanna check multiple times though, just to see if they're starting to build swarm cells. That's typical with single brood that they will. So far they aren't. So I've checked both of these. Most of the single broods have been checked. But I'm just gonna go ahead and right away put this on top. And then this is all, again, just drawn. It's a little dirty, but they'll clean it up because it's just been sitting all winter, but they'll clean it up pretty quickly and then just get straight to filling it. So that looks good. And we're gonna put this right back on top. And I'm sure they will be up here pretty quick. So let's check out this next super. It's all just super exciting. What? Oh, super exciting. I get it. You know what? We're gonna keep that in, I think. This inner cover is stuck to the lid. That's usual. I like these lids a lot more because the inner covers don't get stuck, and we've pretty much switched over to that. I also thought I would mention, because typically somebody in the comment section notices it too, there's poison ivy everywhere. I mean, like in the front and between the two hives. I would mention not to get too close to my mother just because she gets it pretty bad. I'm fine. I could probably roll in it and get a little bit, but anyway, so yeah, just wanted to talk about that. That's one thing that is just not fun. Okay, so it looks like they're really not starting to work on this one too much. They're definitely up here working on it a little bit. There's actually a foundation frame in here. Actually a few. I didn't put the super on. I think my dad did, so not exactly sure how it's looking in here, but they're still filling this up. I mean, it looks really nice. This is actually full. So I bet you that bottom box is also pretty full. Again, it's just super clear and it tastes so freaking good. I'm gonna just get a little bit here. It's pretty thin for the most part. It just tastes really good. This is like the happiest time of the year. Seriously though. I love queen rearing and all of that, but it's just so nice to be able to get into the hive and just have a nice taste of honey. It's really good in the bottle, but there's something about it coming right off of that frame. It's just really good. So black locust is my favorite kind of honey. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like a whole lot of other honeys. This is really my favorite one because it's nice and light, that spring honey, it's just really good. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking all of these foundation frames and I'm moving them out to the middle here, and I'm taking those full frames out to the edges. That way they can hopefully start working on those foundation frames. This hive's freaking out a little bit because they decided to make a back entrance, and so they're not sure how to get in because I just blocked it. So I'm gonna move that over and then just get back to work over here. A lot of our hives like to find holes in the bottom boxes and just make another entrance. So let's just scoot this back in over here. I'm gonna put this frame in here. So then there's some frame dividers, or I think that's what they're called, I can't remember right now, that makes it to where all the frames are in the right spot. I usually just take my hive tool and kind of move all the frames. But if you don't do that and like one of the frames is like this, sometimes they'll build this out so much, like way thicker than all the other ones. So I like to just put the frames in that look a little bit nicer, just like that. Now we will hope that they will start to work on this one. I can definitely see them down in that bottom box and they're working on that. So you can just see through here. It might be harder to see on the camera. That looks fantastic though. And that honey still, it tastes so good. And so now I'm going to put this lid back on. Again, that inner cover is stuck in the lid, so it's in there though. These lids are sometimes not super fun. Anyways, that looks really great, and a lot of our hives look like this, and so we're definitely going to be adding supers like this one. I mean, this already has 3 and it's only been on for a few days. So if you have black locust around, you just want to watch it every single year and make sure and just see if it's going to be a good flow, because if it is, you can get quite a lot of honey. So I definitely recommend looking around for that. They're just these pretty big trees that have, they kind of look funny. It's like the flowers kind of hang down. But anyways, we don't have a whole lot on our property, but I know there's a ton down the street. So I'm sure they're getting it there, and I've seen them all over it. So it's just exciting. So hopefully your bees are doing well and starting to bring in some honey. So thanks for watching this video. Follow along for more bee adventures and be here next time on Beekeeping with Natalie.